This playthrough is rated T for teen.
Greetings and salutations, viewers. Vauldemare back here with another episode of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords. In the last episode, we talked to the crew, and mainly Kreia, because she is long-winded for a lady who just wants to keep to the shadows, especially if you keep her going. But she gave us some things to think about, and gave us some nasty dark side points. Ew, gross. We'll get rid of those later with some light side. We'll save a kitten. Don't worry, we'll fix it later. We just want to get some influence with Kreia, because we want her to love us, man. And then after that, BioWare helped us, talked about the war, put our lightsaber together, and we talked to the disciple and realized we'd met each other. Apparently, when he was a child, he'd been sent to the academy to learn the ways of the Force. And while we were awesome, he couldn't come with us because, or our influence caused him to stop being a Jedi. But now that we have the chance to teach him the ways of the Force, because apparently we're a teacher now all of a sudden, we're going to help him become a Jedi. Yeah, more Jedi. Because, wait, in the last game, how many Jedi did we get? We got Revan, Juhani, and Basla. That's 3, right? I'm trying to think if I'm missing anyone. No, I think that was it. Just 3 Jedi. So, in this game, we have the Exile, Kreia, and now the Disciple. Huh. Oh, okay, 3 for 3. Alright, but anyway, let's go through the process of becoming a Jedi, because it's not just some checkbox list. You have to do a lot of things, like take like 5 minutes to do some conversation ticks, you know. Imagine the initial teaching of the Jedi, your first steps within the Enclave. Ooh, ah. Remember the wind among the plains of Dantooine, the feel of life around you. I wonder if this is different if you're dark side. I don't know. You know what, I've actually, you would think I'd know, because I've played the dark side female Exile before, like a long time ago, but I don't remember a whole lot about it, frankly. Well, I remember the gist of it, but I don't remember small details like this. Think of what you felt when our paths crossed again. Hey, man, what's that in your pants, man? Put it away! I mean, sorry, this is serious. And at last see the galaxy through the Force. Ah, get the sword out of your head. Anyway, the disciple has taken his first steps on the path of a Jedi. He's a consular? But he was a soldier before. That is not a good build. He will grow in abilities as he travels. You learns what you know of the Force. Well, I'm glad I gave him 12 levels of a soldier first, then, because consular is the wizard version of him. So, well, there you go. Now he'll level up in consular now. So. Great. Well, I mean, there's still some abilities you get as a consular, so it's not like that's all bad. It's just, I could have swore he turned into a guardian, but now that I think about it, the way he talks, it almost makes sense that he's a consular instead. But anyway, let's talk about...
Is something wrong?
Anything else we can talk about? So, what are you doing?
At times, I meditate. Simply close my eyes and listen. It is quite calming. I try to treasure these moments before the next crisis begins.
Wow, he was very Jedi-like before becoming an actual Jedi. Well, I mean, because he's Force sensitive. But you know what? Can you teach me to meditate?
Of course. It would be my pleasure.
Ooh. You've recovered Force points and a one-time bonus to your FP through meditation. You can meditate with the disciple at any time if no enemies are nearby.
I try to treasure these moments before the next crisis begins.
Quit repeating yourself. I have other questions.
That is hardly surprising. What do you wish to know?
What do you do again?
I am an historian and scientist working for the Republic. Although I'm certain my contemporaries would judge me more a historian than scientist. I have some training in the medical arts, if you are ever in need of healing as well. But my chief passion is history. I came to Dantooine in the hopes of finding some trace of the Jedi, but you know how my explorations turned out. Instead, it seems a Jedi came to me, just in time.
I know, I'm awesome like that. What are you doing for the Republic?
Not much remains of the Jedi. I'm trying to find what little does remain. There are so many histories, relics, holocrons that speak of their teachings and their code. I fear that unless someone makes an effort to find and keep them, they will be lost forever.
Why do you feel that is necessary?
Because I fear that unless the Jedi teachings are preserved, we will lose the galaxy. And because, whatever my feelings for the Order, they do not extend to preserving their knowledge.
I find it interesting that most of the people that join your party don't really have super positive things to say about most groups or organizations, especially the Jedi. In the previous game, most people are like, "Yay, Jedi!" You know, because we're not fighting the Sith. But in this game, it's kind of a different matter when you think about it. But and why do we need to preserve the Jedi stuff? It's not. I mean, are you trying to make the Jedi more OP and more self-absorbent than they already are in the Star Wars universe? Even though that's pretty much that's all there is, really. Do you have a problem with the Jedi?
No, not their lore, their histories, but their masters, their teachers, perhaps. I have tried to keep an open mind about their practices, but I have seen the Republic scarred too many times by their students.
Yeah, every plot and major story in the extended lore, or canon, or legends has to do with trained Jedi becoming evil and all that. So if it repeats, why not just blame them? Let's see. Is truth, foolishness, and arrogance of the Jedi have much to harm the galaxy, but why do you find that it matter to you? The Republic has also saved countless times by these same Jedi, often through acts of sacrifice.
That is a truth I cannot deny. It is sometimes difficult to see that side as I walked upon Dantooine. But I will consider what you have said. There is another side to their efforts and their teaching that I sometimes forget.
Why do you find the Jedi? Why do finding the Jedi matter to you?
I'm trying to save the Republic. Dantooine and the Jedi Order are instrumental to that effort. Despite the troubles of the Jedi Civil War, there are those among the Republic who still favor the Jedi and wish them to return. And there are admirals within the fleet who recognize that the Jedi must be found if the Republic is to hold together. Yet as long as Onderon remains within the Republic and the efforts on Telos succeed, that is all that matters.
Well, I mean, we know for sure that the Republic does survive. I mean, they survived till A New Hope. Yeah, God, my brain was shutting off there for a second. Or the prequels, but we don't talk about the prequels. Why Telos and Onderon?
The Republic is fragile right now. Telos is important because its success will determine whether or not the other dead worlds receive the same reconstruction efforts. If Telos is rebuilt and made habitable again, it will affect a string of worlds along the rim.
And Onderon?
Onderon, strangely enough, was unaffected by the Jedi Civil War. It's almost as if Revan didn't want to attack it. Its resources and position on the rim make it a vital supply line and guard post against outer rim attacks. Also, it's the only world in the Republic still capable of seeding ecosystems into other dead worlds. Onderon's wildlife is some of the most aggressive in the known galaxy. Merely placing some of those beasts on target worlds will guarantee their habitation for years to come.
So even with all the planet killing that happens in Star Wars, they at least have ways to try and get life back onto it. At least it kind of stables itself out there, I guess, or balances. Why is the Jedi Order important?
The Jedi are a symbol. As much damage as their reputation took during the Sith War and the Jedi Civil War, there are still many who they serve as an example. Plus, there have been times in the past where a single Jedi has been enough to change the face of a world, or a galaxy. I suppose I still believe that might be possible. Despite the betrayal of many of the Jedi against the Republic, I must concede that as figureheads, they do serve a vital role.
Well, even for the mystical side, I guess every group's got to have its wizard. Why is Dantooine important?
Dantooine was one of the few Republic worlds on the Outer Rim. It is why the Republic is attempting to get the settlement up and running. But now that you have protected the settlement on Dantooine, it will serve to stabilize the Republic presence on the Rim.
What would you need to be done to save the Republic?
There are many factors. Aside from protecting Telos and Onderon, we need a rallying force. We need the Jedi, even if they are just figureheads. That is why I traveled to Dantooine, to find some trace of them.
Yeah, you never ran into Master Varuk? Yeah, I didn't do a very good job of that. You ran into me, I guess. Although, if you play the male exile, then you never run into him at all. It's like he never existed. Which is weird, because the last handmaiden, despite not us joining the female exile, is still there. She just doesn't join us. At least I don't remember the disciple ever being encountered as a male. I could be wrong, but maybe he just doesn't join us. Oh well, whatever. How did this happen?
The Jedi Civil War brought much suffering to the galaxy, and the forces that Malak and Revan amassed against us seemed limitless. Many worlds were destroyed, trade routes disrupted, and the Republic fleet was almost decimated. While it is said that Revan and several Republic heroes and Jedi defeated Malak, in many ways Malak had already won.
What do you mean by that?
The war was costly, and it shattered the Republic. In time, the Republic might recover. But if a threat strikes now, if certain key worlds are not held, then the Republic will collapse.
It might almost collapse if every writer every 100 years or so wants to throw a freaking war at the universe just to defend against it. It's a Legend of the Five Rings syndrome. What worlds must be held?
Telos, Onderon, Dantooine. Without them, the Republic will either die slowly or quickly by fire.
Yeah, you mentioned that before in a previous conversation. Then we must do what we can to defend the Republic.
That is my thought. The Republic is not without its flaws, but it is preferable to anarchy. Without supply lines and a standing military, the chaos that would result would be greater than the Mandalorian Wars.
It's always something worse. Okay, I think we've already asked him about that, so we're good for now. Gain influence, force points increased temporarily. Alright, I think we fixed that dark side stuff we got earlier. Alright, let's talk to Adden. We haven't talked to him in quite a while because we haven't put him on our team because I was waiting for a specific situation to occur, but we haven't gotten to that yet. I don't know, maybe it'll happen soon, who knows.
Something up?
Oh yeah, you're still bugged to talk to me while turning your back like you're pissed off at me or something like that. I have some questions for you.
Alright, what did you want to know?
I haven't had many opportunities. Okay, nothing to talk to you about. Well then, are you sure you don't want to talk about like the seer? Or... No? Okay, cool. That's fine. Alright. I need to put Adam on my team. He does, I mean, for being one of the major characters, he does have stuff to add to the game. It's just the way I was like waiting to level him up is hurting that quite a bit. Alright. Long, dark, and beautiful. What do you got?
My life for yours.
My life for ire? I mean Nerzul? I mean the Jedi. Are you alright? How'd you find me? Who sent you? Question for you. Are you alright?
I am able to serve. If we enter battle, I will fight and die alongside you.
Well, I'd hate for you to die and leave a perfect pair of breasts outside of this world forever. Oh wait, I mean, it would suck to lose a human life. Yeah, that's it. No, that's not what I asked. I asked if you were all right.
I have not heard that question in some time. My flesh is healed, if that's the answer you seek.
Man, you must be into either had a really nasty master or you're into some weird BDSM. There is nice BDSM. It's all consensual. I knew a madam once. Well, not personally. She told me some interesting things about being a dominatrix and stuff like that. And she asked if I wanted to join in on the session. I was like, nope. Anyway, I didn't mean to hurt you. And medbay, we know you have scars. Who hurt you? How'd you find me? Who sent you? I didn't mean to hurt you.
I know. And I fear that others will see the mercy in your actions. And in my survival. And use it as a weapon to do you greater harm.
I forgot to mention this, but if you play male exile and have the last handmaiden, then she really hates Visas and is very like jealous of her if you give her a lot of attention. It's almost funny in how anime-y it is, you know, if that makes any sense. But anyway, how'd you find me?
I felt you, heard you through the Force. It was like a sound at the edge of hearing. And when I heard it, I found I could not ignore it.
Well, my ringtone is pretty annoying. Oh, you meant the Force and spiritual stuff, yeah. Who sent you?
I serve my master. I am an emissary, a scout. My
Oh.
master was aware of a disturbance in the Force, but was unaware of its nature, of you. The disturbance is not something one feels from a living thing. There is little my master does not know, and that you eluded his sight for so long is significant. But I do not know why.
So I have something that exudes me that's not supposed to be from a living being? That's a little weird. Nah, that's probably not important. Why did you still call him your master? Don't you kind of serve me now in a weird sense? Yeah, whatever. I need to know where I can find your master.
You cannot. His vessel roams the borders of known space, and even I do not know where he travels. Until he calls for me. Even if I could lead you to my master, I cannot permit you to find him until you are ready.
What, I don't have the levels? I'm level 6. I'm badass. Oh, wait, no. In D&D, you have to be... Well, it depends on which version of D&D you play. 6 level is pretty decent, but obviously being higher is better. But, you're in no position to permit anything. Ready.
If I bring you before my master, untested, without your potential realized, then you will be lost to me, and I cannot allow that to happen. It would be as if one brought fire to a paradise valley, shattered a cavern of rare crystal, or blinded a painter.
It'd be pretty dickish to blind a painter, that's for sure. My life is unimportant. Your master threatens more than just me. I decide when I'm ready. Command you to bring me before him. I command you to stop! What is it? I order you taking me to him. My life is unimportant. Your master threatens more than just me.
I cannot. I will not. I would die first, and gladly, to preserve you, untouched, unharmed. Now that I have found you, I cannot sacrifice what I have found.
You know, I understand what she's talking about in more of a sense that she's found like a diamond in the rough type of situation, and it's nothing like attraction or anything like that. It's just the way she sounds when she says it. It's almost like she does have an attraction to me that's beyond, you know, that I'm important to the universe or whatever, all that. You know, it's typical RPG protagonist mumbo jumbo. But anyway, if he is behind it, you find him, kill him before he uses my power. How'd you find me? Okay. If he is behind what is befallen the Jedi, they must be stopped.
You will meet my master. It is inevitable. I have seen it. And when you stand before him and realize what you face, you must be prepared. Until then, I must protect you, help you, until you are ready.
I wonder who this master is. Will he be one of the many in-game bosses? No. Well, I mean, it's not really a spoiler. I mean, when you mention it and she says we'll fight him, I mean, yeah, we're gonna fight him. I don't know in what way, but we will eventually. Why are you doing this for me?
There's a greatness in you. A greatness that does not stem from the Force. It stems from who you are. And if my master does not understand you, cannot see you, then perhaps there is hope for us all. But if you seek to survive, then you must understand why this is so.
You gotta give it to Obsidian Entertainment, the way they, or at least whoever they get to write certain games or their writers that they do, they really do a good job of stroking the ego of the main character, let me tell you. I mean, yeah, it's supposed to be you, because most of their characters are supposed to be silent protagonist type of characters, at least in most of the games they make. Although I wonder if this is Chris Avalon's writing we're detecting here or not. It's hard to say. I don't remember what games he worked on for Obsidian at the time. Anyway, if your master has trouble detecting me, how are you able to do it?
There is much I see my master cannot. I fear it is because of my nature, the nature of my race. My people spend their lives seeing the galaxy, the energy streaming off stars, the growth of life, all things touched by the Force.
So you guys are blind but not blind, kind of like Daredevil, how he's blind, but if depending on which version you use of Daredevil, if he has more of a sonar, so he's technically not blind in that sense because he can still see things. Yeah, where are your people in your world now? Well, we do know. Didn't someone tell us that they were destroyed or something?
It is not a subject which I have spoken of since its destruction.
Because I think, like Atten mentioned that or something like that. How did your master destroy your homeworld to kill such a scale? It's impossible. Her master did that? But now I don't remember who tells us that, but that's pretty epic right there. So we have a Star Wars character that's a planet buster. He's on DBZ levels.
It was not a thing done with machines or weapons. The Force is far more terrible, and it touches more lives than any machine can hope to slay. For everyone that feels the Force, strongly, deeply, each one feels and perceives it in their own way. You have strengths, whether you know it or not. And my master has his. His power is great, and it comes from hunger. He is a wound in the Force, more presence than flesh. And in his wake, life dies, sacrificing itself to his hunger. And those who feel the Force strongly are beacons to his hunger. My people, my planet, would have been attacked in time. It was inevitable. Yet we could do nothing about it.
Wait, your master's like a Force zombie or something like that, who just sucks up energy and Force? Weird. Like a guy who represents true hunger, huh? Who can't be satiated by and can still destroy a whole planet and still not be filled. How does one become something like that? Are we ever gonna find out? Why do I feel like we're not gonna find out? Why did your master destroy KOTOR?
The Jedi, the last council of the Jedi, came to our world to meet in secret. They hoped that perhaps among our people, they could achieve the clarity to see what was striking them from the darkness of the galaxy. They succeeded, but only in bringing him from the outer regions. And KOTOR, with my kind, with the Jedi upon its surface, could no longer be ignored. And my people died, and the Jedi died. And there was no one left, only me.
And you decided to become his apprentice. Yeah, that makes sense. The guy who basically ate your world decided to follow him. I guess maybe because she was distraught or had no choice, I guess. So that's where a good deal of the Jedi and Jedi Masters went. They got eaten by this dude. I mean, figuratively, I guess. I don't know, the way they're talking, it might be literal, too. Nah, I mean, who knows? I mean, how do you suck the Force out of people? Do you buy them like a zombie, or do you do it like a lich? Actually, this guy kind of reminds me of a lich, actually, from D&D. I wonder if that's where they got the inspiration for that. Why did the Jedi meet in KOTOR?
They hoped to see the threat that had been stalking them, and they did. But they were unprepared for the magnitude of the threat.
He attacked it because the Jedi had gone there? So they basically had, because of the way he can sense strong Force presence, is basically like setting a big old lighthouse effect on this place, going, dinner's here, ding, 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 ding.
He cannot deny his hunger for long. And any gathering of Jedi is something he cannot long resist. And now that the Jedi are vanishing, I do not know what will happen. Perhaps he will grow strong enough to eradicate all life, merely with his presence.
He sounds like a JRPG villain, except he's not. He does. I don't know if we know if he wants to do it. It's just he has to do it because otherwise, it's like a force, a gnawing on his brain, his soul. Well, I have some other questions for you.
I will answer what I can, but my answers may prove useless to you.
See, this is why, with that whole discussion about our master and about hunger and all this other stuff, it gives you a reason why I can sort of understand why people don't like this game as much as the first one because of certain features, bugginess, and all that other stuff. But I have some of the most interesting ideas and concepts for the Force and the Jedi, because the first game is more of your typical, well, I won't say typical, there's a few twists in the first game, obviously, but kind of a, fighting an evil that's greater than itself, solving a mystery and getting to the end, and there's not a whole lot of questions other than the twist of what happens with Malik and all that. But this game, since they want to do something slightly different, the twist, I guess, is how you could proceed the Force, where can it go from a writing standpoint, what can it do, because it's almost an all-encompassing thing. It's like magic, you just kind of have it do whatever you want, and then, but within the sense of the world, with the writing, the way they describe it, it kind of makes sense. Tell me about your own world.
It is not a subject which
Oh,
I
wait.
have spoken of.
I already did that, didn't I? Whoops. Let's see. Actually, there were some other questions here. Let's see. How was it destroyed? I've seen similar extra destruction at Malachor.
I've heard tales of Malachor. It is said that many of my people felt the end of the Mandalorian Wars from across the galaxy. But do not mistake me. I did not mean to draw comparisons between KOTOR and Malachor. My homeworld still exists. It is intact.
It's just dead. That's all. So nothing else lives there.
I will answer what I can.
Okay, we already know about that. Was your master the one sent to Paragus? Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not familiar with the place you speak of. My master has not entered Republic space for some time. But there are others who may move more freely, who may have been responsible for such an act of destruction.
Oh yeah, that guy with the crazy, was it the crazy scars all over his body that cut Krea's hand? So that wasn't her master, huh? That means there's 2 Sith Masters after me. Great. What do you mean?
There are many factions within the Sith, all seeking to take what little remains in the wake of the Jedi Civil War. Where one moves, it is not always known to the others. But their purpose is the same. The death of all Jedi, everywhere. They believe you are the last of the Jedi, and their hatred of the Jedi unites them. All their eyes are upon you, and it is a terrible, quiet darkness that pursues you.
Okay, that's kind of messed up, dude. I'm hot, but we getting Sith stalkers now? So we've got one who they all hate each other, but they don't work together well because they want to kill Jedi in their own way and get their own way. So we got one that eats Jedi. The guy with the scars. I'm feeling he's a guy who just likes to beat just kill things. So we got a guy who just straight up murders and eats. What else we got next? I believe we're missing a person who can manipulate people or something like that. Nah, that's silly. You know, I'm just speaking out of turn. I don't know what I'm talking about. Was your master behind this? Oh, well, that's basically the same thing, but we'll ask you that anyway. Was your master behind the destruction of Paragus?
My master did not cause the end of the planet you speak of. There are many factions with.
Okay, we're getting a repeat now. I don't know why they give me 2 different questions. They give me the same response. Oh wait, they do that all the time. Just it depends on meaning. But I've heard your species is blind. How are you able to see?
My people once had the power to perceive events, to see through the Force. That sight may manifest itself in many ways, and at times, I may affect the abilities of others to see as well.
So you can just pass on your ability just by being around them. That's hot. I mean, that's awesome. You sound as if that sight is lost to you.
My sight has been damaged. What I have taught you, it is not the full extent of the perceptions of my people.
Dang it, we got the hand-me-downs. I mean, thanks for the help, Visas. Visas has a limited ability to see the Force. She also has a Force sight in first-person mode and can also use it as a... Oh, that's right, I forgot this game has a first-person mode in some unique situation, but I almost never utilize it. I spent Force points.
When he showed me my world, showed it to me as it is, it hurt. And since that moment, it has been difficult to perceive the Force as I once did. But after traveling with you, I feel that perhaps there was a gift in it, hidden beneath the pain.
You haven't really trained for long. We've been talking for 10 minutes and you act like we've gone on a planet already together. Well, too bad. This game has some points where you can just talk past a point, you know. We wanted to see there's no gift in pain except the gift of strength. That's the more dark side version, I guess. When one endures, it gives hope to others and themselves.
Only when one suffers do certain truths become evident, both of the galaxy and of the self. And I feel you are an example of this.
Well, thanks, I think. Let's see. How do you... did we ask her that question? How do you see through the Force?
If you wish to know, perhaps it is possible to show another what my people see, what I see. First, you must close your eyes. The surface of the ship, its sights, will only be a distraction. Now, in your mind, reach out. Listen for my breathing. Do not focus on the sound, but the life behind it. Imagine its energy, its texture, in tandem with the breathing. And then in your mind, step back from the image and see what remains. There. It is not as difficult as I thought. You learn quickly.
You didn't show us anything. It just went to black. I felt like that scene was supposed to actually show us something, but it's hard to just focus on nothingness, Visas, when you're talking to me because you have such a sexy voice. I mean, it's very teaching, and it's very good at what it does. Yes. Anyway, you've gained a bonus force points of foresight. This allows you to perceive the alignment of others and see through some obstacles to the threats beyond.
It will take effort to maintain such sight, but you now have that power, and with it you can use it to see life around you in a different way, as I used to see it.
So now we have the paladin ability from D&D to allow to detect alignments. Huh.
Forgive me, but before you go, I must ask. Why do you do this? Why do you seek to help me? Teach me.
Because you're hot. I mean, I'm a good person. I want to save everyone I come. I'm a good Jedi. No, why is it only that a weak servant is no use at all? I don't know why. Do not try to think about it. Because I believe you can be saved.
You must not do this. I cannot allow you to weaken yourself for me.
Why does everyone think light side is weak? Yes, we can't shoot lightning, but we can still throw rocks with force push and stuff like that. We can heal our wounds. I think we're cool enough as it is. I mean, and apparently, depending on which lore you read, apparently, light side can use force lightning to an extent, just not as strongly, because obviously that's a killing technique. To help another is not weaken strength to them both. Your curious views for a Sith. I do not understand where your powers over the dark side comes from. You're too even-tempered and submissive for my tastes. Yeah, I know. She doesn't act like a Sith in a lot of respects. To help another is not weakness, it is strength to them both.
So you say. But it is not something I have observed or seen.
Just hang around with me, baby, and you'll find soon enough. I mean, what do you mean?
I remember little of my homeworld before I entered my master's service. It is not as it was. There is little left of such memories. Or the planet itself.
Alright, I'll stop pretending to hit on Visas. So, I was getting a little overboard with that, I'll admit. And we've already talked about that. We already did that, didn't we? Yeah. Okay, I was just... Alright, let's just... I think we're good now. Alright, I'll be going. Thanks. Alright, gained force points increase. Influence gain. Good, great, grand. No yelling on the boss. Alright. Yeah, too bad Eden has nothing to say. I'm kind of surprised. I think it's because I haven't used him enough to get any influence with them. So yeah, next planet we go to, I'll definitely have to put him on my team, even though his levels are pretty low. Alright, anyway. Okay, so... Alright, well, we've talked to all our companions. Yeah, that took a while to do. And got them up to speed. And so, next time on the next episode of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords, we'll travel to the next planet to find the next Jedi Master. Who will it be? Will it be the remnants of the Sith Academy? The gambling plan of Nar Shaddaa? Or are those my only choice? I thought we had another choice on there. I thought there was one more. Yeah, there's like one in the middle there that I can't access. Maybe I have to go to the others first before I can go to that one. Oh, there it goes. Onderon, which, okay. And the capital of the old, or I don't know if that's the current capital, but the power base of the Republic on Onderon. Well, fine. Well, join me next time. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. And may the Force be with you.